Hey, this is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on a limb. So, hello from Luxembourg. This is my 104th country, I believe. Yeah, so excited. I'm hitting all these micro, tiny nations in Europe because it's the pandemic after all, so it's easier to get this checked off my list, I guess. But yeah, so a little bit more about Luxembourg. It's a really wealthy country. I think the GDP here is really high. I think it's about $110,000 on average per person. It's actually known for its banking industry. I think there's a lot of investment firms coming here, a lot of tech startups as well. I think Amazon recently moved its regional headquarters here. So it's a very interesting country because at first impression, I mean, it's kind of like old amongst the new as we are walking in the old part of the city right now, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way. So it's really interesting. It's a country of around 600,000 people. About half actually are French or Belgian or Germans, and half locals. So come check out this tiny country with me. Folks, please remember to hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Thank you. So when you visit Luxembourg City, you definitely have to check out the Old Quarter. The Old Quarter is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, got the honor way back in 1994. And I certainly understand why, because when you walk inside of the Old Quarter, it's like walking in a fairy tale setting, historical, charming buildings, along with a river with the water so clear that you can actually see the reflection of the building in the river, which makes for really beautiful pictures. So there are actually a lot of tunnels in Luxembourg. In fact, there's about 17 kilometers worth of underground tunnels cut out of the solid rock beneath Luxembourg City. So that's around 10 miles of underground tunnel, and we're actually walking in one of them. And this one is particularly impressive because there are actually arts hanging, on both sides of the tunnel. So it's really cool. The Old Quarter sits in kind of like a basin of the city, so you actually have to go all the way down to visit the Old Quarter, and you actually have to climb back up. So it's quite a hike, definitely forces you to exercise a bit. As you can see here, it's actually pretty steep walking up back to the main area of the city. That's not the historical part. This palace is actually a must-see landmark here in Luxembourg City. It's a gorgeous Renaissance that was built back in 1572. Unfortunately, during my visit here, it was not open. There's actually a lot of shopping to be done here in Luxembourg if you want to. As you can see, there are many shops here in the city, as well as a lot of restaurants and outdoor cafes. The Roman Catholic Notre Dame Cathedral was actually built here in the early 17th century in late Gothic style. It's actually popular for not only as a tourist site, but also for people to get married. Luxembourg is the second richest country in the world because of that. Its minimum wage is about 2,000 euro a month. That's really impressive. And Luxembourg is actually one of the safest countries in the world. Crime rates are impressively low. I guess, when, everyone's making good money, there's actually no need to rob anybody else. Fort Thurgan is a historical fortification here in Luxembourg City. Luxembourg City has many fortifications, by the way. It's actually in a park. It's located in a park, and it's free admission, which is what I like about the Luxembourg government. It's so wealthy. It's the museum is actually free of charge. So it's actually not that old, this fort, because it was actually demolished in 1867, and then were actually built or reconstructed in 1990s. So inside you actually see a lot of the collections of things that they use to defend the city. Luxembourg is actually a city where you can actually hike as well. There are actually a few hiking trails near the city, and they are off, pretty good distance, anywhere from 3 miles all the way to about a 6 miles walk, surrounded by trees. Luxembourg definitely has a nightlife as well. As you can see, especially with the tram here, it's like a disco tram with all the lighting installed. So all in all, I think, Luxembourg is definitely worth a visit, especially if you are visiting, Belgium or Germany or France. Definitely stop by. I mean, it's a really charming country. It's a small country. The people are friendly, although I don't think they speak a lot of English, interestingly. But it's definitely worth a visit if you are in the vicinity.